Good evening, anybody, if anybody's watching. Welcome to the warm-up race of the Group 2 drivers at Monza for GT3 and the eSeniors. The best will in the world, I will try and make this as exciting as possible when I can work out and find somebody who's actually on track. As you can imagine, that's easier than it sounds. There we go, we've got someone on track. There was a couple of very interesting lap times appeared here, and you can tell who the drivers are who have been moved from Group 1 into Group 2, because the first two, Mr. LaFrance and Ben Chea, are both ex-Group 1 drivers, and I think the times are respective of Group 1. I know the Group 1 drivers were doing the 149s, early 149s yesterday, and consequently he's managed to do a 149.9. I think that's probably going to be fast enough for pole. Ben Chea is just outside that, again with another good lap time. Interesting grid consisting of 40 drivers, so consequently I should imagine it's going to get rather busy. Turn 1 is inevitably going to be chaos, and I will stick it to the helicopter view for turn 1 so we can get a good idea of who's driving where, driving how, and if incidents occur, we'll get to see them quite quickly. Hopefully that's not going to be the case, and if there's no incidents, we should be in for a pretty good race, to be honest. I'm hoping for a bit of fun. Certainly looking forward to watching it. So Mr. Forrest is just pumped in a fast lap. He's got himself into 4th place. Mr. Forrest is again what I class as a quick driver. He's putting that lap time in. Again, a respected lap time. That's a 1:52. Sorry, a 1:50.23, something like that. So at the moment we've got Mr. LaFrance with a 1:49.9. Ben Chea, 10th outside that. Mr. Hutchin, Forrest, both in the 3/10ths. We've then got Garvish. I've not seen him race before. The name's not familiar. Abando, pretty regular guy racing, along with Daniel Britos. And then we've got Mark Stevens, Rainer Berger, got Rick, I think his name's Leonoff, could be wrong. And then we've got Vitale. Columbi from Canada, he's just about a second outside the pace, so he's going to be just inside the 150s, and then that really moves us into the 151s, with Kai being the first one, it looks like, in the very low 151s. Moving down the grid, we've got Mr. Howard, Huges van Bassenhove, we've got Jeremy, we've got Steve Buckley, Mike Dearlove, and then a newcomer with quite an interesting name. I presume his name's Peter David, but his name is Peter First Corner Scared David. I think that epitomises the first corner, so it doesn't sound like this guy's really up for it. We've got Thierry, we've got Lauren. Mr. Queen is not a name I'm familiar with, and someone just moved up the list there. I didn't quite see who it was, but someone just moved up the list. I will change to see if we can get someone further down the list, and there we go. Mr. Neil, he's nearly 2 seconds outside, but to say up to position 24, 25 is 2 seconds. That's not a lot of time for a lot of cars, I think it's fair to say. We've got Mr. Goddard, Jaime, Mr. Miles, pumping actually quite a good time in there. Langlois, Andy Skelton, Marvin Garland, Robert Houpe, he's a new driver, not seen him race before, and then Mark Wyman, a colleague of mine from TRG Racing. Then we've got Willie Owens. Hi Willie, stateside, he's 3 seconds from pole. Then we've got Mr. Blythe, Wilson, and then Andy Lees. Now, again, I'm sure there's 40 people. Let's see if I can get through and find the remainders. There we go. So we've got Andy Lees, Mr. Parks, Souza, Lakin's a new name, Santini's a new name, Mike Hansen, and Hyder, I think is definitely a new arrival to the group as well. There's a mixture of drivers in there. A couple of drivers haven't yet done a lap time, which obviously you really do need to get your laps in on this circuit, because it you do really need to get yourself up the grid a little bit. Just trying to use the camera to work out where people are. We'll drive along with Kai for a bit in the BMW. Okay, let's see how he's taking the corners. He's coming up now to the curve grande. This is usually flat out. Let the car just go its normal path, and you're braking about the 150 marker into the Variante del Regia. Okay, he's took that well, and then went to the Lesmos. So corner 4 and 5 are what we call the Lesmos. I take this in third, drift wide a little bit, and then on this one I brake at the white mark, or the 150 mark, which is out, cut the curb, and then power down, full speed, all the way to the end. And I usually brake at the little orange van just after the gantry on the right hand side, and then hard down into third and ride the curb on the left through the Variante Ascari. Okay, again on this one you want to try and get as much power out of the corner as possible to keep your foot down, and then flat out again up to Parabolica. So we'll drift left here, about 100 metre marker, brakes on, down into third, and then you want to coast around the corner as much as you can, and then get to a point where you can start easing the throttle on and then full throttle down. I usually use the guy on the right hand side who stood there as a marker point, and then I put the throttle on all the way through to the end. That's a good lap, 150.9, in 13th place there. So Kai certainly on it. This one down into the Resfilio, braking at the 150, riding the first curb as much as you can, and then ride the second curb. Obviously Kai's decided to take a shortcut there. I'll find somebody else to ride with. I say as most people are now starting to pit, it's getting a little bit harder. With Hugers, again braking, we'll ride the first curb as close as possible, ride the second curb, and then power down on the way out. And obviously get your foot down on the Curva Grande. And then Variante della Roggia is the next tricky area. We're braking just after the 150. Hard braking, keep braking, second gear, close to the curve as possible. And then the second curve you can power it out. This one, white marker, the orange marker on the right, brake. And the third gear. Got the track limits there. Still a bit of debris on the track there, so we've got to proper off. 3 minutes left for qualifying. And then I'll home in on some of the front cars, see how we get through the start, and then I'll use a little track map to keep track of where people are, pardon the pun. And then I'll try and maintain quite a good sense of race. Obviously I've already got one view. I can't just select the driver to click on them, I've got to scroll through, so that becomes a bit of a pain. It would be good if in this game you give the option to click on the driver like we do in spectator mode as opposed to director mode, because that means you can just go to one driver very, very quickly. Obviously the numbers on the track map represent the numbers of the drivers. So if you see yellow incident, as you can see, car number 7, that transpires down to Mr. Thierry from France. So we know straight away where we're going there. A couple of drivers who have come into this group from Group 1 is Terry Howard. Peter LaFrance, as we can see, is one of the drivers who's got quite a good lap time. Jeremy Aruba, obviously one of the guys who's running eSeniors. Michelle Benchea, the other part of eSeniors administration team, which, you know, I think hats off to those two guys. The time, the effort they put in for everybody who's part of this is, you know, nothing short of fantastic. I think we should always, you know, respect anything they say decision-wise in relation to this. I've tried to run a league not consistent with as many drivers, like considerably less. It does take a bit of time, and consequently, you just really want to make everybody happy. Robert Abando, he's also moved down from Group 1, as well as Philip Savage. So their names that you'll see are probably appearing in the top of the list, purely because of the previous group. Just say good evening to Sim Racing Elite, Mr. Dave Thompson, who's part of Group 1. He'll be racing tomorrow, and he's now on board with the stream, watching it. So let's move forward a little bit. That's good, really. Bit loose there. This is Peter Miles. Just check the list of names. I should have a list of names with me. Verify that his name's not on the list. It is just Peter Miles, that's right. So he's the guy who's come up before. Let's see if we can find someone up towards the front. So there's Philip Savage, 21st. Looks to be struggling a little bit. Surely his name's really enough. Could be wrong, it could be Group 1. Can't actually find his name on the list, so that's my mistake. Eased off there. Right, there we go, got Kev Forrest. He's one of the quicker guys in Group 2. I did race Kev quite a lot in Group 2. And as I said, La France and Benchea have, you know, they form the front end of the grid really. So just to recap, La France, Benchea, Forrest, first, second and third on the grid. And then we've got Hutchin, Garvish, Britos, Columbe, Abando, Stevens and Berger making the top 10. And then down to top 20 we've got Rick, Vitala, Schaefer, Arabas, Van Vassenhove, Howard, Dealove, Goddard, Buckley and Skelton. And then obviously we've got another 20 drivers beyond that. It'd be great if we could do obviously a full grid walk. I don't think we're going to get time to do that. I'd love to consider that. I'll try, but don't hold your breath on that one. What I'll try and do is get to Mr. LaFrance, because he's going to be first on the grid. And when it switches to him, I'll see if we can do a kind of grid walk. There we go. So, there we go. Cheers, Dave. Yeah, I've been playing around. So what I'm going to do, if I can do it right, is move out. I'm going to spin round a little bit. And then I'm going to step back. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, pity I can't go any faster than that. Okay, so we've got La France, car 66. We've got Benchea. I can speed it up, there we go. Brilliant. Forest. Hutchin. Garvish in the yellow Ferrari. Britos, blue silver. Columbe. Van Vassenhove. Abando in the pink Honda. Then got Mr. Stevens, again another Ferrari driver. Berger, Rick, Vitala in the Porsche, Schaefer in the BMW, Arabas and Howard. I'm running out of names at this point, so I'll carry on going down the grid. I will put the names on, so as we can see the names, hopefully you'll understand who it is rather than reading them out. We've got Dearlove, Goddard, Buckley in the McLaren, Skelton, Peter First Corner Skird David, interesting name as I said, Mr Savage, the Arf from France, Mr Neil, Lorem, Queen, Peter Miles, Langlois, Mervyn Garland, Robert Houpe, that's how it's spelt. Apologies for the names in advance. Mark Wyman, Willie Owens, David Blythe, Wilson, Andy Lees, Souza, Parks, Mr Lakin, Antini, and Hanson. And following up the grid is Mr Hyder. So what I'm going to do. Hi Andreas. I believe there's 40. Right, so what I'm going to do is start off with the top view and I'll switch through the views as the race goes on. I believe there's 40 racers in this, so anything could happen. Certainly in the first corner. And if the warm-up... Oh, someone says 41 on the grid. Wow. Here we go. Bit of a refreshment there. Keep my voice. Hey, in the warm-up last night, this was so painful going round here. So if you had stood at the side of the track, you could have walked faster. It's lights out and away we go. Benche's got a flying start on La France there. Let's see how it goes. Thanks Andreas. I think that's a bug in ACC actually. I was in drive, but as you could see, said session was still stopped. The session was ended. That's a bug in ACC. Well, that looks absolutely fantastic. Everyone's got through. No, they've not. What's going on there? The massive gap between the next cars. Hey? Have I missed something? Oh, he's gone wide. That was a good start. Oh, there you go. Bit of bedlam at the back there. Couple of cars spinning around. Doing a bit of Kylie Minogue spinning around. There's Mr. Wyman. Okay, I'm going to quickly just shoot back to the front. Oh, good timing there. Couple of cars coming together. Mike Deal have managed to miss the problems there. Okay, let's zoom to the front. It'd be great if you could just click a button. Wow, the France has stuck Benchea. I don't know if Benchea made a mistake or because that's quite a significant gap for the first lap. We're getting the tyres warmed up at this point though. See what it looks like from inside. Sorry, 1.6 seconds down. right in a minute. I'm trying to change the angles of the cameras. Just trying to work out what it is. F6 and F1. I'm going to try and find the driver. That one. F6 and then F1. I'm trying to find the rear camera. I don't have to do that for some reason. There you go. A bit of a different view. I was playing around with a free cam before. It takes some time to get used to it. Forrest is flying here. Looks like he's going to get him. Oh, cracking drive out of the corner there. Yep, he's passed him. Brilliant driving. Took him in a really good position there. It's definitely accelerating away there. Yeah, the field's starting to break out a little bit now. Looks like LaFrance is starting to run away with it a bit. I've got a feeling though Forrest is going to catch him here, and Hutchin's looking good as well. These first four is definitely the race to keep an eye on at this moment in time. There was a car in the pits. It looks like there's been a couple of cars damaged. Car 93 was in a second ago, just coming out now. Might be interesting if that goes yellow through the pits. There's quite a few cars passing, so I'm hoping they're yielding a little bit. Catch Michelle here. Michelle got a very good drive out of there. Use the road to its advantage. There's nearly a second ahead now. This is Britov's catching Carvish, I think. There we go, that's a bit better. I'm just looking at the gaps, and obviously if I see anything in the gaps that's telling a story, I'll try and use it. Yeah, Kev Forrest is definitely flying. He's took a second out of LaFrance there. On the lap time, we're all around the 151s, 152s, which is pretty damn good, to be honest. Second or third lap in. Okay, Forrest is catching him. Really good drive in that. Lexus, sorry, in the Audi. And I'll switch between the views. Gone very wide there. He's hit the curb. He's in trouble. And he's out. He's not hit the wall, which is a good thing. And that's put Mr. Forrest up into first place. Hutchins is now going to drop down the list a little bit. Sorry. Well, France is now in 7th position. And Benche is 1.5 seconds behind Mr. Hutchin. And he's being Britos is still chasing him down. I think there's obviously areas where Michelle's quicker than Britos, and there's areas where Britos are quicker than Michelle. So I think this will be interesting to follow a little bit. I think that's the back marker, because that car's not been up the front before. So I think that's the back marker they're already taking. Must have been someone who pitted earlier on. I'm just trying to see the number, I can't see the number. Let me see if there's a name come up. Mr. Garvish. Oh no, he's passed. He's passed Garvish. Okay. Mr. Garvish's car. It's going to be able to try and reline to the corner then. He's been, as you can see, Mr. Britos. He's having a go at him. Keeping the distance sweet though. I do think Garvish is going to get him on the straight though. If he can keep close enough here, he's definitely gaining. Anchors on. There we go. Yeah, he's got a much better line, much better drive. He's definitely going to get him here. It must be neck and neck. There you go, neck and neck. Oops. He was the first one. Then Shea made it through there. It's definitely neck and neck. That worked well, didn't it? Like a quick F7 then. That's what you call a lunge, oh dear. I think that was definitely Mr. Garvish's fault there. Yeah, I think that was. I think Garvish took a corner that didn't exist there. Oh, car doesn't look too healthy. What's going on there? Oh dear. I don't know what's happened to that car, but it doesn't look. That car didn't look very good then, did it? Looked like it had crashed into the grounds. Okay. Shells all over the road here. There goes Britos. Took him. He's definitely pulling away there. Okay, let's step back to. Let's move back a bit. Right, where are we? Oh. Touching, and we want to go the other way. We can find some good battling going on. Ah, let's go to a bando. Oh no, let's see if Garvish does his last minute braking again. He's still very deep into that corner. Not around. There he is. It's the trees. Across the bridge. Ooh, that feels wrong. Oh, we've got another one joining in here. Rick's going for it. You going to get him? He's definitely got the drive. He's going up the inside, I think. Good driving that, to be fair. Darvish will come back at him, or whether he burnt his tyres out when he went off. Don't know, but Mr. Stevens is having a go. Right, I think I'm going to have to do this and see where Stevens is going to get him, because Stevens was flying down there then. Just looking at the times, it doesn't appear to be any battles up front. I'll stick with a couple of front field if you like. If you've got any suggestions, any numbers you want to see, let me know. It's very high latency stream, so that basically means as I'm speaking you're hearing. If you ask for something, I'm going to receive it more or less straight away rather than 30 seconds down the line. So we're now riding with Stevens, cockpit view. He's chasing down Darvish. He caught him up quite well before on the Rettifilio Tribune. Start and finish straight for you and me. That took that well. Took that well there. Keep his foot planted. Getting away a little bit there, isn't he? It's just Darvish, just jump forward one. Darvish does look like he's a little bit quicker. A bit slower that lap actually. Lap times just started coming down a little bit, slowing down a little bit. Jeremy's flying. He's just done a 51.0. I'm going to jump back to Jeremy because Jeremy looks like he's not a million miles away from his Canadian counterpart, Mr. Colombe. Gap between everyone else now looking at it. This is still 1.7, but looking at the field, there's a couple of battles towards the back. I will jump to the back in a bit, see if Jeremy makes any headway. Jumping down. So I'm gonna go to some of the back people towards the back now. Step through. So this is Miles against Blythe. I think Blythe's car's black because he's done his own skin, by the way. Apparently if you've done your own skin outside the game, your car will appear like a black without any colours on it or anything. And I've seen a couple of the cars looking like that. That was a bit close. I'll get there in a minute. God, the keys are sensitive. I think he's going to get him, you know, here. Looking really, just drift. Commentator's curse, he's just drifted wide a bit. Definitely catching him. He's not going to get him here, like. That looked like a late break. Going off further up. I'm going to come to it now. See if we can see who's off. Come off at the here. Well, going again. Looks like Melvin. He's gone off there. We've got a car number 60, stop and go. I can't see car 60 on here. See if I can locate them. I'm going back down the grid. I'm assuming probably wrong, but it's one further down the grid. Yeah, Robert UK. So forward, and that's riding with Mr. Wyman. The two Sky Ferraris in front of him. Them colours, proper sky. Blue flags are being shown, so who's catching them? Or are you being waited for Mr. Howard? Because Mr. Howard's been lapped. Okay. There's still a couple of good battles going on. I'm going to stay with this one for another minute, and then I'm going to shoot further back. This is going to get tasty with the two Ferraris in front. As you can see now, you've got second Sky Ferrari, and then you've got Mr. Wyman's Ferrari. Mr. Wyman's not in the Evo. He sticks with the standard 488. He thinks the Evo's a little bit too loose for him, and he's going to go. Oh, thought he was going to go for the pass then. It's dangerous. I've got a good drive here. Very good drive. And hold it on the inside. Very respectful driving that. Oh, he's pushed him wide though. He's got his foot down. That was a good overtake, to be fair. So that Mr. Howard's unlapped himself then. He was 35th. Right, so Howard's unlapped himself. Okay, that's what the blue flags were for then. So Howard unlapping himself. I didn't realise that. Wyman's getting ever closer. Giving him a good run here. Now he's got a lot of speed there. It's definitely not the corner to pass in. Going on the inside. No contact, no contact, no contact. Very well done, I must say. Exquisite driving by the pair of them then. We've got the run on him again here though. deep there. Very deep. Oh, that was close. Nearly took him out there. That was excellent driving that. So I'm going to take a step back again now. And I'm going to go back through the field. Let's see if we can find some close racing. Oh, there we go. Andy Lee's? It is Andy Lee's indeed. This is going to be interesting. Mr. Lorem and Andy Lee's. Looking as calm as a cucumber. Cars looks a bit battered, mind you. Laura must have took Lee's there because he's definitely pulling away. Okay, I'm going to jump further back again because it looks like there's another few. Yeah, there we go. See if we're going to get Mr. Lakin taking Goddard here. 5 minutes to go in the race. So flowing this, hasn't it? Oh, he decided he didn't want to go over the bumps. Third easy, he didn't take a shortcut. Kai must have had a problem because Kai's right towards the 28th position now. Whoa! What happened there? He just seemed to disappear. I think he opened it there a little bit. Yeah guys, if you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm not going to say many great videos because I only tend to do the races I take part in. I am up to do all the Group 1, sorry, the Group 2 races though, this sort of thing. So I'm not a director, I'm not a film producer, so you're very much going to get what I'm showing you. I'm just trying to work out where I'm going next. I've got a couple of bit passing potentially going here. 3 cars here. Oh, we've got the first place car. Forest. 11 seconds clear. And Britos looks like he's caught Hutchin. Like a drone camera, that, isn't it? Ooh, has he took him? He looks like he's took him. It's gone a bit deep, but he's managed to hold it. Brilliant, excellent piece of manoeuvring that. That was perfect timing. Thought he was going for it then. I think he's nailed it there. I mean, let's see what else we've got. Not much of a gap there. Let's move forward a little bit. You know, there's Kai. Mr. Lakin. His bonnet's up, Mr. Kai, so I think that means he's probably been off somewhere. Just look at his bonnet. Yeah, you can see his bonnet's a little bit raised there. I think he's obviously gone off and hit something. join into the fold as well. Oh, okay. We decided they didn't want to race. They're scared of the corner. Mr. Howard. I think Mr. Howard must have a problem. He's being passed this one. That's somebody taking him back. No damage to the car. A few scrapes on the side. Buckley's going to go for it here though, by the looks of it. Bit of an overtake here. But Buckley might be getting his lap back. Mr. Houpe's stop and go again. His second stop and go. Must be riding the curbs and cheating. Gaining an advantage. A bit too far back there, I reckon. Yeah. Not going to be far long before he takes him though, by the looks of it. 3 cars into the bargain here. And McLaren wanting to join in on 73. Oof. Wow. Well, Buckley's obviously a back marker and he's letting everybody through. The fights with these two then. A bit loose there. And Mr. Howard's flying again. Yeah, Mr. Howard's off. Like each other, these Ferraris, these Skybottom cars keeping together all the time. That's where are we? First place car, Mr. Forrest. Going to take the plaudits. I think it's fair to say he pretty much nailed that one. Managed to get the lead quite early on. I like his team name though, Scottish Pasty Racing. Okay. Didn't know the Scots did pasties. There you go. Thought pasties were big from down south. Cornish pasties and all that. But you live and learn. Yeah, that was definitely a good race by Mr. Forrest, that. Oh, he's just took him. Wow. Yeah, a bit Leland off. I thought it was that. That was excellent. It was quite an outstanding race, that. Fireworks going off. Down circuit. There we go. No problem, Dave. Thanks for watching, guys. I return to garage, and what I can do is yeah, No worries, Andreas. Thanks very much for watching. See you on track tomorrow. You two guys. I shall end the stream there.